Kevin Jackson Radio Show.
All right, everybody, welcome back. Kevin Jackson here. It's the Kevin Jackson Show. So I talked about this stupid Obama portrait earlier in the week, not in the broadcast. And I got to tell you, the post-mortem is coming in on this thing, the autopsy. But before I even get more into that, because look, I covered it pretty well. I thought it was pretty clever stuff that we talked about, but there's more to it now, and I've learned this. But did you see the Michelle Obama one? God, who did they get to paint that? It looked like paint by numbers. I'll be honest with you, I'm not a very good painter, but I think I could have done, a pretty good example of them. In fact, I bet you there would have been more raving over mine because it would have been more abstract. And I would have hid some devils in there and stuff just to make it interesting. Yeah, just the strangest thing. But here's what and by the way, Michelle Obama looked like that chick, Kerry Washington, that plays in Scandal. Can't stand that stupid show. It may be canceled now, but yeah, Scandal. And man, you would hear black women talking about, ooh, girl in Scandal. And what was funny about the show, I watched it on Netflix once. I watched one episode, and I went, I want to see what Scandal's all about. Because it looked good. Set in D.C. I watched Boss with Kelsey Grammer. I thought that was really good. It was, what's it called? The one with Kevin Spacey. House of Cards. It was House of Cards in the city. Big city politics like Chicago. And Kelsey Grammer did a phenomenal job. So I'll recommend it. If you want to watch a really good series and you miss House of Cards, watch Boss. I think it's called Boss. But anyway, so I watched Scandal. And here's what I got from it, because Tony Gwynn, I believe, plays the president. Kerry Washington's character used to have an affair with the president, and she now becomes a consultant, and she gets rid of people's dirty deeds in Washington. So she's now tied back to the president, who I will tell you reminds me of Bill Clinton. But in the Scandal thing, they hate Republicans, and she works. I mean, you can't. They don't say that outright, but they do. But she works. I believe this guy's a Democrat, and you see all his dirt. And it's funny how they try to twist it. It's typical leftism. Okay, so the Republican guy's Mr. Goody Two Shoes, works with the Tea Party. The president, is a scoundrel. Sleeps around on his wife. And he's terrible president. Scandals on top of scandals. She's working with these Democrats to cover up their nonsense. But the Republicans are the bad guys because they're holier than thou and they work with the Tea Party. That's kind of what I got from it. So I was like, I ain't watching this. I got about 3/4 of the way and went, okay, I get it. Because I was trying to give it the benefit of the doubt. Anyway, the girl in there, that's a long way to tell you. The portrait of Michelle Obama looks more like Kerry, what's-her-face, Washington, I think it is, than it does Michelle Obama. And she looks gray. She looks gray. It's horrible. Where'd they find these painters to do this? But what was more interesting to me, honestly, that I don't care. I don't really give a crap about Barack Obama's portrait. If he wants to be the first metrosexual, fairy gay president and have flowers in the background and ivy that's going to engulf him in 2 years, I don't really care. Take whatever picture you want. He could have done it in Speedos on the beach with Reggie Love, or sitting astride a horse trying to look all presidential or whatever. I don't care how he looks. That's between him and his legacy. But what I did find interesting was how other people described it. And here's what they wrote. I don't remember who wrote it, but it was this. In 2010, the Economist magazine's editors chose to title a review of Bob Woodward's Obama's Wars book, The Loneliness of President Obama. To some of Obama's fans, it seemed a misnomer. Remember, yes, we can, on the campaign trail twice. Obama was the ultimate communicator, seemingly happiest in a crowd. In office, however, he seemed distant by comparison. Indeed, in a widely read 2012 essay for The Atlantic, that, by the way, a leftist rag, the columnist James Fallows popularized Walter Mondale's view of Obama's seemingly unfair reputation as, quote, aloof and diffident. The magazine would later mock this media stereotype of the president under the title, A Brief History of President Obama Not Having Any Friends. Now, I'm going to break there for just a second and tell you, explain it. He doesn't have any. He's got people that like his power. Going into the presidency, I'm just telling you, look, I don't care one way or the other. But here's what I'll tell you. If I got elected president, there would be 500 people on the stage, family, friends, even people who didn't politically agree with me. They would be there to celebrate that I did it. Barack Obama was with Michelle and his daughters and his mother-in-law. He didn't have family. He didn't have friends. No, I mean, everybody alienated. People from his church. I'm just saying, if you're living life, look, I go to church. I've been going to church here 3-4 months or something. I'll tell you, I have people already there that I know in the neighborhood. If I died, I think a couple of them would even show up to my funeral. This clown became president, and there weren't 10 people there that he really knew that knew him on his behalf. Anyway, this thing goes on. It says, elected with the highest number of votes cast for a president, Obama set new records for presidential popularity, but the burden of the office streams any responsible incumbent into a cast of one. Whether assigned as a professorial or elitist, both terms apply to Obama at one time or another. It's lonely at the top. The president we see in Kehinde Wiley's portrait unveiled at the Smithsonian is the lonely president. Superficial within the frame of the image, things seem otherwise. The vibrant foliage behind him is teems with life. The flowers in the background, as Wiley explained, in the unveiling, represent the diverse communities from which Obama draws strength. Lilies of Africa, jasmine of Hawaii, and chrysanthemums of Chicago. No, he's lonely. He's lonely with Michelle. He's lonely with his daughters. He's lonely with his mother-in-law. He's lonely for a family he's never known. He's lonely for an identity that he's falsified. He's lonely. That's what it is. That's what it captured. And it's good that they didn't put him in a presidential library. Let me put it to you this way. Donald Trump, family all around him. Sons, daughter, all the time, tweeting about him. Getting together, pictures all the time together, Mar-a-Lago and elsewhere. That will not be the picture of loneliness when they paint Donald Trump's presidential portrait.
This is the Kevin Jackson Radio Show.
Do you owe back taxes to the IRS or state? The secret to avoiding the IRS nightmare is to seek professional representation. My friends at Security Tax Associates provide the most cost-effective and ethical representation in the industry while helping to avoid seizures, levies, and wage garnishments. Security Tax Associates is here to ensure that the appropriate steps are taken to permanently eliminate any possibility of future tax burdens once and for all. For a free, no-obligation consultation, contact Security Tax Associates, 844-779-4177. That's 844-779-4177. 844-779-4177. Or visit them at securitytaxassociates.com.
Beth Cook Moranville, author of Closer Than Your Breath, a book of hope.
Hope, that wonderful, wonderful 4-letter word that you may feel completely out of. I wrote this book to give you great hope. It's not too late. If fetal position is an all too familiar place for you, I understand. If the next 60 seconds are too long, this book is for you. Wherever you are right now, whether you're dealing with divorce or death or sickness, take hope. You are going to make it through this pain. Don't roll your eyes. I've walked this road and I know it. The best is yet to come.
Closer Than Your Breath, a book of hope from author and speaker Beth Cook Moranville, can be found on Amazon.com or Kindle.com. For more information, visit closerthanyourBreath.com or on Facebook at Closer Than Your Breath.